welcome to Coffee and TV with Dad. I'm Coffee and TV. This is with Dad.
Dad.
With Dad. So today we're going to talk about war stories.
I only got one.
You got one? All right. So you were in the Navy
Yes.
during the Vietnam War, and you were your ship was the USS Independence, and that was CVN-62.
62.
So when you first pulled up to it was at the dock. It was docked at Norfolk.
No, actually, no. It starts at the squadron. I was stationed in Oceana, Virginia.
Oceana, Virginia.
You go to the hangar, and everybody tags their stuff all packed, their bags and everything.
Okay.
And there's a semi-trailer there, and flatbeds, and buses. We pile onto the buses, and every piece of equipment that they have for the airplanes, the jack stands, and
Everything.
all the Bowsers are all put on the trailer and taken to the carrier.
So that equipment stays with the squadron wherever the squadron
Yeah,
goes.
we'll take everything we have with us, and everything's put into a cruise box. And
Is that like a shipping container?
it's not a big. It's big enough that two guys can carry it.
Okay.
It's about 3 or 4 foot long and maybe 2 foot high. But when you get them packed up with metal parts,
They're heavy.
They get to be heavy.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So all those cruise boxes will be carried out. They go to the they go to Pier 12,
Pier 12.
and it'll pull up alongside one of the elevators. It'll be down on the carrier.
The carrier's at Pier 12.
Always.
Okay.
It's always at Pier 12. Sometimes there'll be 2 of them. Then crews start unloading, putting everything on the, taking them out of the truck, all those cruise boxes and all those parts and stuff. So they have cranes and tow motors to help us move the really heavy stuff.
So I'm having the visualization. Okay. How do you get from the pier to the ship? Is there some sort of like bridge? You
Yeah,
said
there's a
an
gangway
elevator?
for
A
the people to walk on.
Oh,
Yeah, and then there's a place for the equipment to cranes and things to lift the heavy stuff on
now,
board.
does that go to the deck, or is this the way you move the equipment into the side of the ship? The ship is decommissioned, so we can talk about it, right?
Yeah.
This is no.
No,
longer.
it goes onto the elevator.
Where's the elevator, on the deck?
They drop it down
From
from the deck.
From
they
the
drop
deck.
it down to the lower deck. There's 2 main compartments, kind of like a big garage.
yes, a hangar,
Yeah, a big hangar,
right?
and there's several squadrons can park in there.
Okay.
It's not just our 12 planes. There'll be
What does the pier? Is it level with the?
no.
So how does it get from the pier?
I told you there's cranes picking things up and
Okay.
putting it in.
Okay.
And that's only part of it. Once we get on board and find out where we're going to be, where our living compartments are going to be, and where our shops are going to be.
Okay.
Then the guys from each respective shop starts grabbing their cruise boxes and carrying them up and down those narrow elevators. And
Wow.
yeah, it's work intensive.
Sure. And how much are you getting paid per hour?
35 cents.
35 cents per hour.
for every hour while you're sleeping and everything else.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay rent.
No, food's provided.
Do the new sailors have to pay rent?
Hmm?
Do new sailors have
No,
to
they
pay
don't
rent?
pay. But they have to pay for their own health insurance.
Yes. And uniforms.
Well, everybody pays for the uniform. The people probably don't
I-
realize that. When you get out of boot camp, your first paycheck, they deduct the price of your sea bag.
And all the stuff in it.
Yeah, everything. Your pea coat and
So is that where the term "all your shit in one sock" comes from? The sea bag?
yeah. Try amazing how much you get your work clothes, your summer clothes, the 4 seasons worth of clothes go in there.
In one bag.
One bag.
That's all you got.
Because it's a special way of folding it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you keep bouncing them up and down until they fits. And
That's good stuff.
yeah.
So okay, so
And
you
I
get
still have that bag. I think we use
yes,
it
you
for
do.
camping.
I think it's a hemp bag, and it is
Uh.
incredibly heavy-duty canvas.
We're
And
getting
I'm-
away from the onload.
Yeah, that's true. That's yes.
Then the buses start pulling up and the crews start coming
Buses.
on. We get assigned our berthing quarters where we're going to be sleeping.
Yeah.
And we have some very small lockers that we empty our sea bags into.
You have to put all your stuff from the sea
Not all
bag,
of it, just with the uniform that you'll be wearing.
your work clothes.
And then the other half of your bag goes into a storage cage somewhere. And you pull it out. Basically, when you're ready to leave, and you fill it up, and then you take it home.
And there were bunks, right? You slept in a bunk,
Yeah, the rack.
the rack,
They're 3 high.
3 high. And then in that rack you had it lifted up underneath the mattress was
There's two types. One type of place, that's where all your clothes went.
okay.
You lifted the top rack off, and your clothes would be underneath the. It's like a 6 or 8 inch deep box. You slip everything on. I had the ones that had the compartments against the wall, and you had sliding doors. And I had a little air vent that would blow air conditioned air, and one little light. And,
No USB ports.
oh my gosh, no! It was
No
way
TV.
Before, it was way before.
Right.
The TVs were in the TV lounge.
Oh, they actually had TV?
Oh yeah,
You could
sure. Yeah.
could you watch
And
TV?
there's movies. Yeah. They had movies every night.
That's interesting.
But you're working 24 hours a day, and you don't have time to go. I've had friends say, "Well, what do you do after 8 hours?" Says, "What do you mean after 8 hours? There's no. You just keep working. The last thing you do is you. At the end of the day, you go to your bed and you fall asleep from exhaustion. They don't even. I would get. Okay, the rotation of the day. Just to get advanced a little bit. Paul, my captain would. My buddy, on the flight deck. You're assigned a buddy.
Buddy system.
Yeah, somebody has to watch the newbies so they don't walk off the edge of the ship. They don't come home. He would start at 6 o'clock for the first flight. You know, he'd be up and get the planes flying. He let me sleep to about 9, 10 o'clock. Then he'd get me. Well, he went to lunch, and I would then through the heaviest part of the day we'd both be on a flight deck working.
Launching planes.
Yeah, launching and recovering planes. And then come evening, he'd retire and go to sleep. And I would work until they stopped flight operations around 1, 2 o'clock at night.
Wow.
I'd chain her down. I put at least 10 chains on it.
10. Then we're talking about an F4 Phantom,
Yeah, this is an F4 Phantom.
which is a really cool plane. Probably one of my favorite planes that
Yeah.
ever was. So, okay, but we were skipping.
There's a big part in the middle because as soon as everybody's on, the ship is empty basically. The planes aren't on yet.
Okay.
And supplies for the ship haven't arrived. Then the ship
So the
is
ship
pulled out.
Well, the ship is light and light enough to.
Yeah, you have to, and that's why you have to sail at high tide because at low tide the ship is sitting on the bottom of the bay, and then it'll lift up, and the tugboats will take it out into the channel, and it'll head out to sea. Once you get out 3, 4, past the 3-mile mark, then all of a sudden the helicopters start coming in with those big landing nets and stuff, dropping stuff on the carrier deck. But that's where the food and supplies and all those replacement parts, and bombs and ammunition and all kind of missiles and all kinds of
They
stuff.
fly in the.
They start bringing it in, and there are amazing, plates on the carrier deck that open up in their elevators. So there's certain ones for food, and they'll take everything in there. Will go down to the food place, and
Galley.
all the ammunition and stuff for the guns will go down into the ammunition lockers, and the missiles go down to where the missiles are kept. And as fast as they could drop them down, they were disappearing down below decks. That's where the ship's crews comes in, and they're doing all this stuff, not the air wing.
Those people they stay with the ship.
Yeah, the black shoes they call them.
Black
Yeah.
shoes.
They're below deck most of the time, and the only people on top of the thing they call us the Airedales. We'll have the flight gear, the helmets, the colored shirts.
You were a brown shirt.
Yeah, I was a brown shirt, plane captain.
Today?
I got in the carrier. I got in the plane when the pilot landed it, after he got off the arresting gear, and I would stay with it till they parked it, chain it down, and
Put it
turn
in.
in a maintenance report of if it needed tires. I'd be involved in changing the tires and oiling it and making sure the fuelers came in. I would be in the plane when they fueled it with JP4. The purple shirts would come out.
So you had to manually open up the vents when they fueled
Yeah,
it. They didn't. It wasn't
I'm
an
sitting
auto
in the
vent.
cockpit. Yeah, and turn the lights on.
So did you have to open the valves whenever you were fueling the plane, or did it automatically?
Yeah, I had to open them up.
You had to open the valve. So did it ever spill, or would it just be? Would it do it?
No, I don't remember a fuel spill while on the ship. Other planes, I've had wet starts and things like that where fuel just poured out the back and it wouldn't start.
Well, whenever I fuel planes nowadays, they're all automatic, right?
Yeah.
So if you
At
whenever
an airport.
right a civilian plane, when you if you were to just open up the valves under the wing and you have your single point hooked up to it, the plane automatically opens its vents, and if you put fuel in, keep putting it in, and you don't close the vents.
You're watching the gauges.
Right, so that's what I'm asking.
I mean, on everything, there's the gauges are there. Certainly. Yes, to your answer.
So you never had a fuel spill?
No,
Wow. Lucky guy.
I didn't.
Lucky guy. I've had fuel spills because the planes
I didn't see one, period, whether it was the Marines with their A4s, their McDonnell Douglas Skyhawk, that little fast little plane.
So from Virginia then, you got all the
Right.
necessary equipment is flown in by helicopter, and then the planes come in,
Then the planes arrive.
then the planes are out.
That's exciting.
Oh, I'm sure. How many, like all of them.
They-
All of the planes come
All
in
the
at
planes
once.
start coming in.
And you have, I don't know if we
And
want to talk
then-
about the number of planes, but all of them come in like every
Well,
1
each
minute.
squadron has 12.
And then, okay.
We had 12 of them, but they don't all fit on top. So some go down right away. Some of them start going down into the hangar bay. So as soon as they come in, you move them to the elevator, ride them down, and then they put a tow bar on them and
Was
park
this
them.
during the daylight
Yes.
into the night?
Yeah.
So then
it
you could
was,
see
in July. It was so it was a full the sun was up
Full
to
12-hour
9.
day?
Yeah. It wasn't like now where it's dark at 4 o'clock.
So you could see the planes coming in though. They
Oh,
had the
definitely.
lights like they were
Yeah,
lining up.
and they circle around. Yeah, and they in formation.
That's pretty cool.
There were 2 Phantom outfits, VF-101, the Diamondbacks. That's an interesting plane. Their logo is these big red diamonds on the side of the plane. And I was the Fighting Torchers. We had lightning bolts on the side. You had big yellow lightning bolt.
That's a cool thing.
Yeah, that Phantom is notorious. And this is a good time to put in a thing because I find out when I'm doing our research later on that VF-33 was the first Phantom outfit in the Vietnam War to shoot down a MiG plane.
First East Coast fat.
East Coast, well, okay, East Coast to shoot down
A MiG
a MiG
in Vietnam. And VF-33 was in Vietnam
Yeah,
immediately before your tour on the Independence.
69. Yeah.
They were, and the VF-33 was attached to
You said another ship.
the USS America.
America. Yeah, that was one of the newer ships at the time. Which there are many more since then.
So then the planes all come in. Is it like every 30 seconds they take a plane? It hits the gear. Is it every minute?
At least 5. These guys are nervous. Takes a while to clear them off the landing gear,
Okay.
and then there's a guy trying to say, okay, telling everybody where to park things. You know, the air boss telling you where to put them.
Park your plane.
It's it's we're not in the routine yet. We're not used to it.
Training, basically.
And then the first thing we do, we're going to Guantanamo Bay,
Guantanamo Bay.
Cuba.
And at the time, Guantanamo Bay was not a prison camp.
No, it was it was a prison, but
Okay.
it wasn't like it is used today.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Gee, we didn't even get to the Russian trawlers
No,
when
we
they
didn't.
followed us around.
We'll have to do this first
We
part, second
spent
part.
3 days circling and doing.
Well, who
our-
was at Guantanamo Bay? Screw ups and
Yeah, mostly.
people with STDs and venereal diseases and people who couldn't go back
Yeah,
to America
that should
because-
have gone to Leavenworth or someplace.
Ah.
Bad boys doing bad time. Yeah,
so
Yeah.
retards and F ups.
right.
Okay.
So we were there until we qualified enough to crossed the Atlantic. And when we started to cross the Atlantic, then the Russian trawlers started following us.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
we're probably over. So thank you for watching Coffee and TV with Dad. We didn't have time for the bright idea. So please comment and give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Thank you.